What's going on, guys? And in today's book of the day, we've got an A+. We've got a 10 out of 10. We've got an excellent book. Listen, whether you like to read or you think you're a slow reader, or you haven't been into reading much in the past, or if you're an avid reader, this is the perfect book for you regardless where you're at. Why is it the perfect book? Because it captivates you. It keeps your attention. It's funny. How many books out there, they have great information, but they kind of get boring because they just go through, this great information, but they don't really tie any stories to it. They don't tie any humor to it. This is the opposite of that. Living with a Seal by Jesse Itzler. Now, real quick, down below, let me know. I'm going to try to keep this book review fairly short. These can go anywhere from a couple of minutes to, hour plus. But I'm going to try to keep this one short. Let me know down below in the comments what you prefer. You prefer the shorter book review? You prefer the longer, more detailed version of it? But Living with a Seal. So just a quick backstory. If you don't know who Jesse Itzler is, he's the author of the book. He's part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. He wrote the jingle for the New York Knicks. He's an entrepreneur, business person, does a lot of work in personal development. He has the program Big Ass Calendar Club, which is followed by thousands and thousands of people. So very successful in his own right. His wife is Sarah Blakely, the owner of Spanx, the clothing company, the owner of Spanx. But anyways, Living with a Seal, let's jump into the book. Let's dive into the book. So I'm going to get to Seal at the end because they actually don't reveal who Seal is until the end of the book. So I'm going to keep you until the end of this video to reveal who Seal is. Now, Seal, quote unquote Seal, is living with a Navy SEAL. Living with a Navy SEAL. And if you don't know much about Navy SEALs, they're arguably the most lethal, deadly, highly trained, tough, hard-nosed, intelligent warriors on Earth. They go through the most extensive, the most difficult, like the acceptance rate for the Navy SEAL program is like astronomically higher than getting into a good college. But Jesse Itzler is going through a rut. He's going through just not necessarily a downtime in his life, but he needs to mix things up. So in his mind, he says, man, I got to change things up. I gotta figure out what to do differently. And he gets this great idea to call this guy up, a Navy SEAL, and say, hey, do you want to come live with me for 30 days? And he doesn't know anything about this guy except for this. Jesse was at a 100-mile race. So he's a big runner. He's a long distance runner. He was at a 100-mile race and he was running with some other friends. And he saw this guy at the race, like 240 pounds, ripped, jacked, looked like a linebacker in the NFL or something. And he sees this guy running and he's just completely blown away by this guy's will and determination. And you find out later that the guy that ran the 100-mile race that Jesse saw, the SEAL, he had no conditioning. He wasn't prepared for the race at all. It was just strictly on willpower, just getting through a 100-mile race, which ties into a lot of the mindset that goes into this book itself. So Jesse calls up this guy and he basically says, hey man, I know you don't know me. I don't know you. You don't know me, so on and so forth. Do you want to live with me for 30 days? I mean, that's just an incredible way to start the story to begin with. You don't know me. You want to come live with me for 30 days. Guy thinks about it. SEAL thinks about it. He says, I'll get back to you, or let me think about it. And then he says, Jesse, any motherfucker that's crazy enough to ask me to live with them for 30 days is the kind of person that I want to be around. So the plan is set into place. SEAL is scheduled to come live with Jesse for 30 days. And Jesse doesn't know really what to expect. The whole purpose of having him live there for 30 days is not only to train physically, but more so to get himself out of this boring rut where he's still training to run. He's still going through his business activities, but it just seems to stay pretty steady. He's trying to jolt. He's trying to immerse himself into something. So Seal shows up. The very first time they go train, they go do a fitness test. And they do some exercises and they get up to the pull-up bar. And Jesse gets up to the pull-up bar and Seal says, okay, let's see how many pull-ups you can do. And he does about 17 pull-ups. He does 17 pull-ups and he says his arms are tired. He's not really in shape for pull-ups. You know, he's more of a runner. He doesn't have as much upper body strength. And his arms are just dead, just beat, just tired. Maybe you know that feeling from working out yourself. And Seal says, okay. Jesse says, okay, like that's all I got. Like, let's go get some dinner. Let's get out of here. And Seal goes, no, we don't leave until you do 100. And he says, 100? I just maxed out at 17. Like, my arms are jello. I'm dead. I'm beat after 17. And that kind of sets the stage for the type of standard that Seal holds Jesse to. And throughout the whole book, they go through, you know, all of these different journeys where they're waking up early in the morning. They're going for runs. They run in Boston. Jesse lives in Boston or New York at the time. They're going through freezing cold weather. They're running in the snow and the ice and the rain. And they're running through different streets, taking different paths and all sorts of incredible workouts. A couple of stories I want to leave you with that really stick out is that Seal goes away for 3 days during the 30-day break. So he had a prior engagement, he had something else he had to go to. And he actually goes away after 3 days, comes back, and apparently he injures himself while he's away. I believe he's at a race or something like that. And he comes back and he goes into his room at Jesse's house and he plays the Rocky theme song 31 times in a row. 31 times in a row, listening to the same Rocky theme song. And Jesse's thinking like, man, should I ask him if he's okay, if he needs anything? Until Seal comes out of the room, just drenched in sweat, dripping. And he goes, 2,500 push-ups, motherfucker. And it's just an incredible journey that they go through. Seal actually was walking through Jesse's house one night. Jesse was sleeping. He's in bed with his wife. And he imagines he sees like footsteps under his door. So there's a little bit of light. He can see under the door. And he imagines that he sees like a shadow going across. And he says, oh, no, I must be dreaming or I must be imagining it. And he sees footsteps again and again. And then Jesse rolls over and he's trying to sleep. And in the middle of the night, Seal literally creeps into his bedroom with his wife sleeping next to him. And he whispers in Jesse's ear, wake up, motherfucker. So he wakes him up. He gets him up in the middle of the night. And they get up and they go do some workouts. They go run. And this was just a recurring theme throughout the 30 days. You know, Seal held Jesse to a complete different level. He showed him how much his body is capable of, how much he's able to push through, how much he's able to get through. You know, another quick story before I wrap this thing up is that Jesse is working in an office. He's got his business clothes on. It's the middle of the day. Seal shows up to his work. And in the middle of this day, right before a meeting with Jesse has with his team, he goes, burpee test. In the middle of his workday with work clothes on. So Jesse takes off his shirt and he starts doing burpees and he's drenched in sweat and he gets through it. And then he goes to the meeting just dripping in sweat, just completely drenched. And people were looking at him like, what the hell is going on? What's going on? Is everything okay? And Jesse just works through it. So the whole 30 days, he's constantly being bombarded. He's constantly being pushed. And he's constantly being shocked. So Seal just comes in and just completely disrupts his schedule, completely changes his habits, pushes him 10 times beyond where he's comfortable physically, not only running, push-ups, pull-ups, tons of different areas. They go jump in the in a lake that has a layer of ice frozen over it. They go jump in it. They smash a hole in and they jump in it. And SEAL goes, you got 5 minutes till hypothermia. So that one, Jesse's wife didn't necessarily agree with too much, but it was all a matter of pushing the body well beyond what you could say your ego allows you to do. Because oftentimes our ego says, no, that's enough. Hey, no, you did enough. So through all of these incredible, intense, grueling, difficult, however you want to label these very out of the ordinary workouts, by having someone accountable with him, the main lesson Jesse says he learned from living with a SEAL, living with a Navy SEAL for 30 days, was that your mind and your body are capable of so much more. It's an unbelievable journey. It's an unbelievable story. I don't know if you can see this. LeBron James loves it, whether you love LeBron James or not. Coach K of Duke basketball team highly embraces it. Tom Brady. I mean, this is just an absolute must. Again, whether you like to read or you don't like to read, whether you're whether you think you're a good reader or not. I mean, I'll admit it, I had to self-educate myself to read. Not necessarily like, hey, putting words together and putting letters together, but the school system, I have 2 degrees. I have 2 college degrees, and nobody teaches you how to read past like the 3rd or 4th grade. So it wasn't until my self-education that actually determines and teaches how you actually read. How do you go through information? How do you pick what to read? Now, I'll give you the biggest tip. Number 1, only read what you're interested in. You see, when we're kids, we pick up books or we're forced to read, or school makes us read different books, and all of a sudden it becomes a negative association, and we think, oh man, I gotta read, I gotta go through this book, I gotta do a book report, or I gotta read this for school. And you start associating on an unconscious level then later in your life that reading equals bad, reading equals no good, reading equals pain. But if you want to jolt yourself, if you want to get out of that rhythm, read something you'll enjoy. Read something that's funny. Read something that's practical. Read something that you can learn from. This is the answer. I don't know Jesse. I'm not, endorsing his product at all. This is an absolute must read. Whether you're an athlete and you're watching this video, or you're just interested in taking yourself and taking your mind and taking your body to another level, this is an absolute must read. So appreciate you guys. Let me know, comment down below. You want longer book reviews? You want shorter book reviews? Your feedback is appreciated. So anyways, guys, take care. See you on the next one. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I just want to let you know we're always uploading some new free resources on our website. So check them out in the description below. Find out which one is the best for you. And I hope to see you soon.